Before we get into today's preview of the Dolphins versus Texans preseason matchup, we will be live for it. So if you haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribed. No joint watch party, just focused and enjoying what the Dolphins are able to do against the Houston Texans. So if you haven't already, hit that sub button right now and make sure you tune in. It is the Dolphins at the Texans. We will see plenty of C.J. Stroud, by the way, at least some of Stroud for Houston, which at least makes it a bit more potentially entertaining since the end result doesn't really matter. Now, these two teams have had a decent feel for each other. Remember, they had joint practices this week, and as the game continues to evolve, as the preseason continues to become less and less important, and the key guys don't play nearly as much, it's the joint practices that are likely and going to continue to be more important. I will make note there was the Terron Armstead injury scare. Sounds like he's okay. He texted NFL Network's Cam Wolf saying he was good to go. So bullet dodged on that front. And I think it was already the plan. I doubt you will see very much of the starters in this particular game, especially if you're on offense. Like, Jaylen Waddle's already banged up. You're not going to have Terron Armstead out there. So you'll have a backup at left tackle. Liam Eichenberg's been a bit nicked up as of late. Are you going to throw Tua out there without his number 2 receiver and his left tackle and make life harder on him when that's not going to be the case in a real game? It kind of starts to become not as valuable of reps. So ideally, you'd like to get the starting unit together for a game or a series or 2 or 3 or whatever. But I am a believer that, especially when you don't have a rookie quarterback out there or whatever, or a bunch of young pieces and you have some more established guys, I will take the rust that will likely be there in week 1 over the risk of, well, you know what, you got unlucky and Terron Armstead blew out his knee or Tua took another concussion in a meaningless football game and now you're really in trouble for the regular season. We're going to break down what to watch for in this particular matchup here. Before we get there, today's pinned comment. Who do you have winning? Texans are favored by 2, by the way. D for the Dolphins, T for the Texans. Like I mentioned, it is today's pinned comment. So if the ad or a ad happens to play here on YouTube, that's fine. Ignore the ad, go vote, then come back up and watch the rest of today's video. First thing I'll be watching for, the backup quarterback battle. Not only how they play, the order in which they play. Mike White got the start, quote-unquote, last week for the Miami Dolphins, and it could have been a really good performance had he not thrown a red zone interception against the Falcons and completed a few more passes in the red zone, because the Dolphins did actually move the ball pretty well. Self-inflicted wounds like turnovers killed them. Now, look, Skylar Thompson's first interception, I'm actually not mad about. It was 3rd and forever, it was an arm punt. Whatever, you're fine. I didn't really think there was anybody else that open, but hey, you know what? Maybe I missed it in the game copy. But he also had a bad interception. High throw leads to a pick 6. Had some mistakes as well. I wonder, and I have no insider info here, maybe we'll find out a little bit after this video goes out, if Skylar Thompson will get the first reps, if they'll flip him, or if not, indication to me, Mike White is your clear favorite to be the number 2 quarterback for this Dolphins team. That is something worth watching. It would be very nice if one of these 2 guys can emerge. If one of them can say, I'm the backup, and take control of a job and not just be given it to, or have it be given from the other option. So pick your quarterback 2 behind Tua. MW for Mike White, ST for Skylar Thompson. Get those votes in for me in the comment section. We'll stick on the offense here. The rookie running backs, I'm both excited to see. We'll see how much, if any, of Mostert, Wilson play. Kind of doubt it. And if they do, maybe a series or 2. How much Myles Gaskin, De'von Achane get. But I think both these young backs have shown some ability. De'von Achane brings you the explosion. He is the lightning, if you will, in this backup running back tandem. He's explosive. He offers some good pass-catching value there. I'm very intrigued by what he is going to be able to show from that perspective. The pass catching's there. A couple of his runs got called back. Same with Chris Brooks. Brooks offers you more thunder. He has a very long and difficult path to make the 53-man roster if everyone else is healthy. But this is the exact type of player you can get to your practice squad. Keep him pressing, and that'll be a good spot for him. Number 3 on the list is the interior defensive line depth, our first and actually only defensive piece to watch. I had initially had one and then made an adjustment there. You're going to see the Texans have their starters out there. You'll see some C.J. Stroud. You'll see the healthy offensive linemen out there as well. So I am curious to see if one of your young backup defensive linemen can emerge. Can they make some splash plays for you? Can it be a Brandon Peely? Can it be a Josiah Brunson, Jalen Twyman, Deshaun Hand? Whoever it ends up being, I don't think it matters that much, and it's more about can somebody do it? Because as it sits right now, I'm not sold on this defensive line depth. Now, I would say compared to last week, the Falcons didn't play their starters. You'll probably get a better feel, even though the Falcons' starting line is better. Texans do have some injuries up front. That does raise some concerns. I'm sure you'll see some Kenyon Green, though. He was a first-round pick. Ideally for me, we are doing our play-by-play, having fun, having a nice night, and there's a couple times where I mention a defensive lineman, either makes a play in the backfield, or maybe even more ideally, we don't mention them, and the ground game is silent for Houston, and it's your linebackers, Channing, Tindall, etc., making plays at or near the line of scrimmage because your interior run stoppers took on a double team, freed up the linebackers. It's not always about who makes the tackle, it's about how the tackle gets made and where. If the defensive line can limit the Texans' ground game, because they will try to run the football some, that is a good thing as far as I'm concerned for Miami and would make me feel better about that interior D-line depth. Score prediction time. Mine coming at the end of today's show. But I want to hear from you guys first in the comments section. Predict the score right now, Dolphins versus Texans. All right, number 4. Robbie Chosen did not play in the Dolphins' first preseason game. I don't know if that meant he's going to make the team or if that meant he was a bit minorly banged up, but Eric Ezekama impressed. I think Braxton Berrios had a pretty strong camp so far. Cedric Wilson's been kind of quiet. River Craycraft offers some backup return value too. The ideal outcome against the decent-ish, honestly, I think league average-ish Texans defense is that Robbie Chosen can make some splash plays for you. The size and speed shines. I am excited to see Eric Ezekama, but I would love it if you had a glut of depth at wide receiver. Cedric Wilson has a great game. Robbie Chosen connects on a play-action deep pass or whatever, goes for a touchdown, and we're all celebrating Chosen in the comment section. That's an ideal outcome. Didn't play last week. I would guess he's going to play this week, but we'll see. 5th up is the offensive line battles. Now, Kendall Lamb did not play last week either. In light of the Terron Armstead injury scare, we'll see how much, if any, he ends up being out there. Ideally, you can get a better feel for the Dolphins' offensive line and the back quarterbacks if you can maybe limit James Tunstall, a.k.a. James Turnstile, back there at tackle. He was rough against Arnold McKinney. It's an unfair matchup in the end. But in particular, what I'm watching for is the guard battle and how they all play. Now, Liam Eichenberg is a bit nicked up. I sat out some of the joint practices, so we'll see if that nagging injury, quote-unquote, he's dealing with is a problem. But Eichenberg took 14 snaps in the first preseason game. It's a very small number. Isaiah Wynn played 31 snaps in that first preseason game there. Both of those players only played at left guard. Now, Robert Jones was the one who got some left guard and some right guard reps. Lester Cotton only got right guard. Some of the buzz of late has been that maybe Lester Cotton is in the mix for that left guard role. I want it as tough as it can be to kind of like in the moment identify, especially when I'm doing the play-by-play stuff, like who's at left guard, who's at where. I will try to keep an eye on that. Because my mindset is this. If Lester Cotton goes in this game, well, I think he's 3rd among those guards behind Eichenberg, Wynn, plus, Hunt, etc. So I guess 4th overall. If Cotton's only playing right guard, I don't really think he's in the race at that position. Now, if they change that this week, and, it's similar reps for Wynn and Eichenberg, and Jones and Cotton flip roles, and Jones only plays on the right side of the offensive line, it's worth monitoring in that left guard battle. All right, before we go, my score prediction. As a reminder, it doesn't really matter. It's the preseason. Yeah, I want the Dolphins to win. That'll be more enjoyable for me doing the play-by-play. But I'm more focused on individual results. Like, if Mike White plays out of his mind, great. And then, the Dolphins' 4th stringers blow it and you lose by a field goal. Okay, it doesn't really matter that much. but I think it'll be a lower scoring affair with better red zone results this time for Miami. Give me the Fins to win 19-16.